Under the bright lights of the World Series, Game 2 began with an energy that could be felt across the entire stadium. Fans packed every inch of the stands, waving banners and chanting the names of their favorite players. The anticipation was thick in the air. Everyone knew that tonight could be another historic performance from Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. As the camera panned across the field, you could see Ohtani smiling calmly, ready to make another mark on baseball history. From the very first pitch, the atmosphere was electric. The opposing pitcher came out strong, firing high-velocity fastballs that danced across the corners of the strike zone. But Ohtani, standing tall in the batter's box, seemed unshaken. His stance was confident, his eyes fixed, and the crowd held its breath every time he lifted his bat. He had already made his presence known in Game 1, but Game 2 felt like something special was about to happen. As the first inning unfolded, both teams traded scoreless frames. Yamamoto took the mound for the Dodgers, and immediately, his precision was unmatched. His fastballs sliced through the air with pinpoint accuracy, and his breaking balls seemed to defy physics. Each pitch drew gasps from the crowd, and by the end of the first inning, Yamamoto had already struck out two of the opposing team's best hitters. It was a statement, he was here to dominate. By the third inning, tension began to rise. The opposing team had runners on first and second, and Yamamoto faced one of the most dangerous hitters in baseball. The count ran full, and the roar of the crowd swelled. Yamamoto delivered a perfect off-speed pitch that completely froze the batter. Strike 3. The stadium erupted, and Yamamoto calmly walked off the mound, his expression unchanging. It was pure poise under pressure. Then came the fourth inning, the moment that would define the night. Ohtani stepped into the box, the crowd chanting his name in unison. The pitcher delivered a high fastball, and Ohtani unleashed one of the most powerful swings seen in this postseason. The crack of the bat echoed through the ballpark, a sound every fan would remember forever. The ball soared into the night sky, traveling deep to right center field. Every person in the stadium knew instantly, it was gone. The ball disappeared beyond the wall, and the crowd exploded into cheers. Ohtani trotted around the bases, expression calm but eyes filled with fire. It wasn't just a home run, it was a message. A statement that this was his stage, and he was born for these moments. Cameras flashed, teammates leapt out of the dugout, and chants of, "Ohtani! Ohtani!" filled the air like music. The scoreboard read 1-0, but the energy in the building felt like the Dodgers had scored 10. Even Yamamoto, sitting in the dugout, smiled subtly as his teammate returned to the bench. That one swing changed everything. The momentum had shifted entirely. From that moment on, it felt like destiny was on their side. As the game progressed, Yamamoto continued his masterpiece. His rhythm on the mound was poetic, pitch after pitch, each delivered with perfect form and timing. His command was so precise that the opposing hitters looked helpless. By the fifth inning, he had 6 strikeouts, and the crowd started counting them aloud every time he reached 2 strikes. The opposing lineup grew increasingly frustrated. They tried to adjust, to swing early, to bunt, to disrupt his flow, but nothing worked. Yamamoto was in complete control. His ability to mix pitches, to keep hitters guessing, made him untouchable. It was the kind of performance that reminded fans why he was one of Japan's finest exports to Major League Baseball. By the 7th inning, Ohtani's home run still stood as the only run of the game. The tension was building again. The opposing team had a runner on third base, threatening to tie it. The crowd fell silent as Yamamoto took a deep breath. The batter swung at a devastating curveball, and missed. Strikeout number 7. The entire stadium jumped to its feet, chanting Yamamoto's name this time. The Dodgers' dugout was alive with energy. Ohtani and Freeman were the first to greet Yamamoto as he walked off the field, giving him fist bumps and pats on the back. The chemistry between Ohtani and Yamamoto, 2 Japanese superstars shining in the biggest stage of baseball, was something poetic. It was more than just a game, it was a representation of discipline, passion, and teamwork. The 8th inning rolled around, and the tension only grew. Yamamoto's pitch count was climbing, but manager Dave Roberts had no intention of pulling him yet. He looked strong, focused, and determined to finish what he started. The Dodgers' bullpen stayed quiet, everyone knew Yamamoto wanted this game for himself. In the top of the 9th inning, Ohtani came up again. The crowd stood once more, hoping for another magic moment. Though he didn't homer this time, his sharp single through the right side of the infield reignited the energy. He stole second base on the very next pitch, showing his trademark blend of speed and power. It was vintage Ohtani, doing it all. Then it was time. The bottom of the 9th inning. The crowd was deafening, standing on their feet as Yamamoto walked back to the mound. He had thrown over 100 pitches already, but his focus never wavered. This was his moment, to close out a World Series game and seal his place in postseason legend. The first batter struck out swinging on a splitter that dropped like a stone. Strikeout number 8. The crowd erupted again. The second batter grounded out weakly to shortstop. 2 outs. Just one more to go. The tension was unbearable. Fans could barely breathe as Yamamoto faced the final hitter. The final batter worked the count full, fouling off pitch after pitch. Yamamoto wiped sweat from his forehead, nodded at his catcher, and delivered a fastball that painted the corner of the strike zone. Strike 3. Game over. The stadium exploded into chaos. The Dodgers rushed the field. Ohtani was the first to embrace Yamamoto, and the two countrymen celebrated a victory that would be remembered forever. It wasn't just a win, it was domination, beauty, and teamwork in motion. Ohtani's home run and Yamamoto's complete game performance symbolized everything the Dodgers had built this season: unity, precision, and belief. As fireworks lit up the sky, the camera captured Ohtani waving to the crowd, smiling humbly as fans cheered his name. He didn't boast or show off, he simply tipped his helmet, acknowledging the moment. Meanwhile, Yamamoto stood near the dugout, his expression calm but his eyes glistening. Reporters crowded around the pair during the post-game interviews. When asked about his home run, Ohtani simply said, "I just wanted to help my team win." And when Yamamoto was asked about his dominant outing, he smiled softly and said, "I trusted my catcher. I trusted everyone behind me." Their humility stood in stark contrast to the magnitude of their performance. Social media exploded within minutes. Fans around the world flooded timelines with clips of Ohtani's towering home run and Yamamoto's strikeout montage. Japanese fans stayed up all night to celebrate, sharing tears and pride over what their two heroes had achieved on baseball's biggest stage. Even rival players took to social media to express admiration. Many called Ohtani's homer one of the purest swings ever seen, while others said Yamamoto's performance reminded them of peak Clayton Kershaw. Baseball legends praised them, calling it a new golden age for Japanese talent in MLB. The analysts on television couldn't stop replaying the highlights. Every angle of Ohtani's home run was dissected: the launch angle, the exit velocity, the majestic flight of the ball. Every pitch of Yamamoto's final inning was broken down frame by frame, showing his control and courage under pressure. Fans leaving the stadium still sang Ohtani's name. Parents lifted their children onto their shoulders, saying, "You'll remember this night forever." It wasn't just a game, it was history being written before their eyes. For the Dodgers, this win meant more than just taking a 2-0 lead in the World Series. It meant confidence, belief, and the realization that they were witnessing something generational. When two players like Ohtani and Yamamoto perform at that level, magic happens. In the locker room, the celebration continued. Champagne sprayed everywhere, music echoed, and laughter filled the air. But in one quiet corner, Ohtani and Yamamoto shared a simple handshake and a nod, two warriors acknowledging the battle they had just won together. As the night came to a close, reporters described it as the Ohtani-Yamamoto game. Fans online began calling it the Japanese Symphony, a poetic title for a performance that blended power and precision perfectly. Baseball had seen many great duos, but what Ohtani and Yamamoto did that night felt transcendent. It reminded everyone why the sport is beautiful: the emotion, the discipline, the artistry. When the stadium finally emptied, the field crew began cleaning up, but the echoes of the cheers still lingered. The scoreboard still glowed with the numbers: Dodgers 1, opponents 0. Beneath it, two names stood out: Ohtani and Yamamoto. That night, under the lights of the World Series, two men carried the hopes of millions and delivered a masterpiece. Fans would tell their children about it, analysts would replay it for decades, and baseball would forever remember Game 2 as the night when Shohei Ohtani's bat and Yoshinobu Yamamoto's arm combined to create magic.